Hey, beautiful souls. I'm Colleen, and this is the Hair Healer Podcast. On my show, my guests and I untangle our web of relationships as children, partners, employees, parents, and strip away the labels that define our identity. On each episode, my guests and I open our souls and start a dialogue in order to span this gap, create a spiritual bond, and cultivate deep interpersonal connections. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Hair Healer Podcast. It is your host, Colleen Dixon. I am doing my second episode on location, but this is the fifth episode of the second season. I'm here today at Revolution Hair Salon in Downingtown, PA with Adam and Heather. Say it for me, please. Sahagian. I have said it 10 times before we even recorded this episode. It's actually a very cool last name. I love it. Sahagian. But you said everyone gets it wrong, right?
Everybody.
So you're just used to it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
How do you guys feel? Are you ready? Excited? This is your first podcast, right?
It is.
Yeah. Now, I asked them, and we were just talking. I have no idea. We've never met in person. I've lived in Chester County, but worked down like near Ardmore, near the city of Philadelphia. But we somehow became Facebook friends, and I just loved their personalities. I loved how they're like, here I am world, because that's me, and how they voiced their opinions. They were who they were, and I loved everything about that. So I was excited to hear their story, a husband and wife in the hair industry, and they both seemed like they just had an interesting story all together. How long have you guys been married?
It'll be 17 years in January.
17 years. Now, you were telling me a little bit, how'd you two meet before? Tell the Hair Healer Podcast.
Okay. Adam was my client. I was a distributor sales consultant, and he was my salon client. And I would go in to talk to him about, different products. And
wait. No,
that's not.
The salon was her client.
Yes.
And I didn't ever talk to her.
True.
When she came in. I was always working.
Did you notice her?
I did. So I was working the one day.
She's beautiful.
I know. And I'm working, and I'm usually totally focused on my client. And I look up, and my assistant at the time, I go, Mark, who is that? And he goes, oh, that's our sales rep. And I go, I need to meet her. Because I never met with the sales reps. I was always with clients.
Oh.
So my business partner always met with sales reps.
Right.
So that's
True
really
story.
how that happened.
That's really
True story. So the salon was my client, and I would go into the salon to actually meet with Adam's business partner. And I'll never forget the first time I walked in and I saw him, and I was just like, ugh,
instant.
like love at first sight. And I know people talk about that all the time, and they're, oh, is it real? Is it real? It's real. It's so real. And I would see him, and I had to go in every other week, and I would just kind of like hide in the front reception area, and he'd walk by and he would go like this. So like, he would like give me this like
Joe Cool.
The little Joe Cool.
I swear he would like, tilt his head back and just go sup out of the corner of his eye. And I would just melt. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then what? You just hit it off. And I remember I was reading your post on Facebook. You had a birthday, Libra season. Happy birthday. And I read the entire thing, and I was excited to hear your journey together, because it sounds like you guys have had ups. You guys have formed a business ship and then had ups and downs for 17 years in this industry.
Yeah. And
My God.
In general, yeah.
In general.
It's the most amazing industry, though. I have to say,
I know.
Get that right out in the open. I love it. I've never not loved it.
When did you go? Did you just start doing hair right away?
School. I went right to beauty school.
Me too.
And never stopped.
Never stopped.
And,
in this area?
Yeah. Yep. I went to beauty school in Downingtown.
What was it?
Gordon Phillips.
Oh, there was one in downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And wait, hold on. Didn't wasn't there some shady stuff with I remember being in beauty school, like something like the family, it was like a family thing. Wasn't it Gordon? I remember hearing
they ended
something.
up selling it to Empire, and that's where they came from, family.
That family. Okay. I just remember being like a family thing, like something like the grandfather. This was years ago, and it's probably just something I made up, honestly, like 10 years ago. I know beauty school was 14, 15 years ago, but so you went there and then just started doing hair.
Yeah. I never looked back. I just kept focused and doing hair and learning.
What'd you love about it?
It's every day's different. It's never the same.
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed the fact that you could be anything you wanted to be. So you didn't have to just be a stylist behind the chair. You could become a platform artist. You could represent a product company and teach other people, other stylists about product techniques. So I did all of that throughout my career. Yeah.
And then where were you in your career when you met Heather?
I actually was a salon owner at that point.
Okay.
A partner in a salon. And I
How long in the industry?
Paul Mitchell.
How long had you been in the industry?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, I took my time. I really learned a lot about what I liked and didn't like,
Yeah.
about ownership and
yeah.
styles of management. I always felt like when it's the right time, it happens, and the pieces fell together, and that was that.
100%.
So yeah, I was, and then I was also working for Paul Mitchell, and she was the sales rep for that
So she
product
was the
company.
Paul Mitchell sales rep.
Yeah.
So what was your first business venture together?
School.
The school? Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the school?
A huge, monumental task that we really had no idea what we were doing.
Wait, so who
no
came up with that
idea.
idea? Were you guys just
Him.
out to
Yeah.
dinner and be like, that's just like rock?
No.
let's just
No, that
do this."
was 100% him. In fact, he was actually kind of in the process already of exploring schools because he was a national educator for John Paul Mitchell Systems.
Oh, cool.
So he was at a training in Florida, and when Claybaugh made the announcement that they were going to create these Paul Mitchell schools, and he went up to Win and was like, listen, I don't know what I need to do, but I totally want to do this, because he was just an educator naturally.
Yeah.
And so it was very organic then, because they didn't have the Paul Mitchell schools at the time. They had, I think, one, which was his flagship school in Utah.
Oh, wow.
And so Adam kind of began this journey with them, and it was just, fly out to California, talk to us, and we'll see if, we kind of get along. And, they did, and they were like, all right, cool, let's do this. And there was no real franchise business model in place at the time.
Wow.
We ended up being the 6th school in the
Are you serious?
country.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. And Capelli was one of them. That was like the 5th.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
So it was a crazy journey. So he was like, oh, I want you to be our admissions rep. And I was like, okay, awesome. Like, that would be great.
and you guys were together then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Super serious or kind of like dating, kind of?
Oh no, we like went
From
balls
0 to
to the
60?
wall.
Yeah.
Super serious right away.
Super serious. It was, honestly, like, it was insane. Yeah.
So
Aw.
the school, it just kind of like, my goal was I wanted to reframe the way education was brought to Chester County, basically, and whatever
Yeah.
surrounding it could bleed out to. And, we did that for 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
it went
cool.
by like a blink.
So what were the good, the bad, and the ugly? What was the best, the bad, the worst?
I feel like the best is seeing all of our graduates
Aw,
that are
that-
out there that are
what their
killing it.
progress is and what
Yes.
they're doing. And
knowing that they got their foundation from us, that we were able to just touch and influence so many.
You're giving me
people's
chills right now. I could
lives.
feel your energy.
Yeah.
I can feel your excitement with that.
Yeah, I
The
think
realness.
that's like,
that's the number one thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that for us, that reward, it was never financial. It was always about spreading the information,
Changing the industry.
elevating
Yeah.
lives
Mhm.
and the industry at the same time. So the confirmation for us, one of the worst times was closing it.
Closing it.
But,
When did you know it was time to close it?
I think the industry had taken a turn
Turn.
as
Yeah.
far as
In what way?
enrollment,
Yeah.
interest.
Really?
Yeah.
YouTube. I feel like,
Oh.
and not, of course, to blame YouTube, but when technology, you have to figure, when we opened the school, we were dealing with like the kids after Gen Y, or Gen X rather. They were the Gen Y kids, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they were the ones that were still, really disciplined. They weren't necessarily those, what do they call them? Like native technology kids.
Yeah.
So they were still very focused on hands-on, et cetera. And then as each generation progressed, and we had these digital natives that were, oh, well, I learned it on YouTube. I don't have to go to school. And not necessarily for hair. We still had our core people for hair.
Yeah.
But then this massive explosion for makeup happened,
Yeah.
skincare and all these things. So we started to see hair becoming less of a focus, and, just things
Wow.
just started to change. And, as someone who can understand energy
Yes.
and how it operates,
Yeah.
you just have that, it in your knower.
Yes. In your knower. I
you
like
know.
that. You know it in your knower.
Like when it's time to end. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I fought tooth and nail.
Did you fight? You didn't want to let go.
I
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
I didn't.
When did you finally let go? Do you remember that moment when you're just like, threw that hands up like, okay, can't do this anymore?
I swear, I feel like it was just like a month before we actually closed. he for a while was like, oh, it's
Time to let it go.
time to let it go. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not. I'm like, we have to keep impacting people's lives
Aw.
and changing them.
Yeah, and I told her, I said the reward of it, all of this is through the 14 years, we have this legacy of successful graduates.
Yeah, that's huge.
That never goes away.
Never.
And I'm like, so it's okay to let this be done.
Yeah. Aw.
I feel like we accomplished. I mean, me personally,
Yeah.
I did exactly what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we affected people, we helped people, we saved people's lives at some points.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially
Um,
hairstylists.
yeah.
You're a
Yes.
wild bunch.
Because
Yep.
we care. You
Yeah.
know, hairdressers don't learn traditionally, and we put a lot of stock into making sure we taught the way they learned. And
love
so I
that.
felt like we were really very successful with it.
I love that.
And it was time. When it was time to go, it was, for me, it was a graceful exit. I was okay with it.
It's funny, since coming out here, I've known, and I've always heard good things. I've known, and before I even knew you guys or even knew that you owned that school a couple years, like for years, I moved out here 8 years ago and heard of people going there
Mhm.
and good things.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
No,
Yeah.
it was really a great time. And it was only, one time in the whole thing, and it was just a bad business partnership. at one
That,
point.
and that always,
And
that
it
happens.
It happens.
happens.
And we worked our way through it.
You learn, you grow.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, and we use that now, that model into the future. Like it's what it is, failure isn't fatal.
I love that. No,
And
no.
it's what you learn from it
Yep.
and glean from that experience to take you into the future.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I've always been so happy for all my quote unquote failures, right? I
Yeah,
learned, grew, and
same.
they led me to some other beautiful path.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So what'd you guys do when you closed it?
Well, we opened right before we closed it.
Did you have a salon during
No.
that time?
No.
No, not
So
during
no-
that time.
Okay.
No, but that was something that we always had in the back of our minds that was something that we wanted to do. It's interesting. I feel like our time together has gone so fast because we're always creating.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, we're always like, whether we were, pumping out kids for a while.
Aw. How many kids? Yeah, yeah, 3.
I was doing the pumping.
I hate you.
Libras actually have they present this perfect, but Libras always have this low key
Yes.
these
Yes.
little sly your mama joke stuff.
That's this one. Absolutely. Well, we have 5 kids.
Oh my god.
But I had 1, he had 2, then we had 2 more.
Aww.
And then I would still have kids if
You
I
would-
wasn't so old. Oh my gosh.
You're
I
not
would.
old.
I'm going to be 50.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought you were gonna say 40.
No,
you
I
look
wish.
fabulous.
I love you.
You do. So how was
No.
that merging?
Thank you.
I had done it before in a previous marriage, but
Yeah.
how was it merging, having your kids, merging? I was also a product of that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
It was-
were very
it was-
mindful.
It was work.
Mindful. It was work.
And it was intentional work, though.
Yes.
Wow, that's the key right
It
there.
was, because we both came from dysfunctional, broken families. And
Yeah.
we didn't want to perpetuate that.
Yes, you want to end the cycle.
And, even though our relationships didn't work, our children weren't a byproduct of that failure.
Yeah.
Right.
And we made it a specific goal, even with my ex-wife,
Mhm.
to make it very clear that they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And everything was going to continue the way it would be.
Yeah.
Normally, we respected each other as, ex-lovers
Yeah.
and friends.
Yeah.
And we maintained that the whole time.
But we were,
Huge.
But we worked hard.
and using the word intentional.
Yeah.
I love that because we
Intentional.
were so intentional about it. I went to therapy with Adam's ex-wife.
That's huge. That's beautiful.
We went to therapy, the 3 of us, Adam's ex-wife, Adam, myself. Then we had family therapy with the kids. And we did it where it was Adam and his ex-wife and the kids, and then me and his ex-wife and the kids. We were super intentional about it. And to this day, 17 years out, we have wonderful relationships with them. And when Adam's ex-wife got remarried, Adam's really close with her husband, and
It's huge.
It-
That's
it really is. But we were intentional about it. And that's such an important thing just in life in general,
life.
to
Yes.
just do something with meaning. Don't just be there.
bring intention. I even try to do that when I'm eating food. That's a hard one to remember, but that's a good practice. Like intention. What am I eating? What is this giving me? What am I thankful for?
Yes.
And it helps bring me in that present moment. But I always say children we're the people we have our kids with we're so deeply karmically tied, good, bad, and the ugly, and that people forget. Like I have the same bond with my kid's father. Like just because we don't have that romance anymore, we still love each other. We have to form a relationship.
That's right. That's right.
And it's beautiful to see other people out there kicking ass and do it. And 17
totally
years later,
I love to hear that you do that. Yeah, it's huge because
we go on vacation together.
See, that gives me chills. That literally gives me chills.
He went with me and my ex-husband because I got married after I left him on vacation.
You need somebody to watch the kids.
I know, yes, well, he does help because he doesn't like to go out and do stuff. So my ex-husband and I, it was one big blended family.
Win-win.
We haven't done vacations together yet. However, like
especially kids get older, you know, married, go because now it's hard. I don't know about you guys, but you probably maybe are the same. Like we're around people all day long and I love it. But in my actual alone time, there's very few I actually like in my energy and very few. So if you find it, whether it's your ex-wife and her new husband, go and form that, you know, especially when it's like a family. Are you the same way though?
Absolutely. And I feel like that, I don't know if that's like, you know, part of being an empath when you connect with people on such a deep and visceral level that when you have that alone time, you're just like, oh,
I know. Melting and
just need to recharge your batteries. And that's a huge part
I'm
of
probably the most animated when I'm working.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Did you do platform work? Like, were you on stage? You have
I
to
did all of it. And I loved it. And I've always loved doing hair. So I was so excited to get back to it.
Yeah.
After
because we were on the
break, you know, it was like,
how did you jump? Now, did you do, obviously you taught in the beauty school, but did you ever bring clients in the beauty school with your hair? You just like.
I didn't. And I have clients to this day that I used to do that when they catch me out or whatever, or they come back, they're like, don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever abandon me like that again.
People would
like,
bum rush us in public and be like, they'd be like, oh my God, I love him. He did my hair. You're back behind the chair again. Like,
so it's instant. So you guys open the salon and
we opened it. So this is the funny thing. We do things that nobody else does. And I love it. I feel like Donald Trump when I say that. I'm sorry. We do it bigly. But we really do things that you just don't do. Like, so Exton, I found a salon that needed total renovation.
Was it Gloss?
Yeah.
I remember when you guys, I think it's when I somehow found you guys.
Yeah. So we opened Gloss with no clients, no stylists.
So what'd you do?
No money.
No money. I didn't take out any loans.
None.
So we opened this place, we renovated it, and we stayed there for 4 years and just built this awesome brand. And we did all this stuff. And if it wasn't for the shutdown, we'd still have that place. It just wasn't feasible. But
so you closed that. That was a shutdown.
Yeah, we decided we decided it wasn't worth it to ramp up again.
Yeah,
it just wasn't fiscally sound. And I'm very thoughtful about how it affects my staff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that when we came back from COVID, they landed on their feet and felt very confident. So I met with them all and we decided to like, you know what, we're going to let that go. And, you know, Heather's had this salon in Thorndale, Downingtown, Revolution that I think.
How long has this been here?
2 years.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we just shut it down, but nobody does that. Nobody opens a 3,000 square foot salon with no clients.
What was the secret? So you guys got busy. I remember hearing about Gloss right away. Yeah. So
just talking about the fact that we're back in, I'm back behind the chair and I handpicked the stylists that I wanted and they were all graduates. It was crazy.
From your school?
Yes. All of them were graduates.
They started contacting me and coming back and there's a lot of salon owners that I built incredible salons for.
Wow.
So we have great relationships and, it was just a circle. Like I reached out to all of them. I said, guys, I'm not here to compete with you. Yeah. I'm here to be a partner with you. Like we can all do this together.
Absolutely.
More than enough clients.
Yes.
So we did it and I loved it. It was just, I had come off of a triple bypass, if you can believe that.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, you closed the school.
Yeah.
So this was a bad year, probably.
A
hard year. Not a bad year, but a hard year.
The school was still open at that time.
Right.
The school was still open and it was 7 days before Christmas.
Oh my God.
And we were out with Ryan
Teal from
Ryan Teal.
Seattle.
I'm not
He's
sure.
an educator.
Okay.
And he looks at me and he goes, can we just go home when we're done? Like, I just am not feeling right. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we go home, and then the next day, well, I'm sorry, that night he's like, do we have any aspirin? And I was like, no, we have Advil. Do you want me to just grab you some Advil? And he's like, no, I'm good. So the next day he's with Ryan all day in the school. So then Tuesday morning, we're standing having coffee, and he goes, yeah, remember when I asked for aspirin the other day? And I said, yeah. And he goes, I was just having this weird tightness in my chest, and my arm was falling asleep. And I go,
he didn't say anything about that then.
No. And I said, I'm calling the doctor. And he goes, I can't, I have meetings today. And I go, oh, are you going to be the guy that dies with the cell phone in your hand? No. So I make the appointment. He goes in. His EKG is so irregular. They immediately send him for a stress test. They, hook him up. His EKG was so irregular. They said, we're not even putting you on the treadmill because you'll be leaving here in an ambulance. So they said, we're going to set you up for a catheterization. Oh my God. So they do the catheterization. The cardiac guy.
This is all happening within a week.
Yeah.
Within a week.
Yeah. Actually, it was literally 4 days. The cardiac guy says to me, we'll call you as soon as you're done. Go get lunch or whatever. I said, okay. He calls me and he says, this may sound strange to you because clearly it shocked your husband, but we're going to keep him and do a quadruple bypass.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
I almost fell on my kitchen floor because at this point it's now 7 days before Christmas.
Thank God you did not die.
He would have, because we went in and met with the surgeon and he drew a model of Adam's heart. 3 of his arteries were 100% blocked. The 4th artery was 80+% blocked in 2 different places. And he said, if I had seen this heart,
holy shit,
it bypassed itself, that one.
And he said, he goes, your heart this has been going on for such a long time. Clearly it's genetic. He said, because your heart developed, I have chills right now. He said, your heart developed another way to pump blood through your system.
Yeah.
So that artery that's underneath that was 80+% blocked in 2 different places had learned how to bypass the blood in order to continue to keep his heart beating.
Ooh.
So apparently I was operating on 10% oxygen.
10%.
And
such a fucking hairstylist.
Right? I love doing hair so much. I die behind the chair.
Starving to death, half dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during this process, right?
Holy shit.
So he ends up going in. They ended up just doing a triple bypass because they were like, since that 4th one is, pumping blood, we'll just let it go. So he gets out I was
determined to be home before Christmas, and I was.
And you were?
Mm-hmm.
He was home Christmas Eve. Yes.
How were you feeling?
Tired, but much better.
He was walking the day of surgery. They made him get up and walk. So we were in the process at that point of
negotiating the space
for Gloss. So 4 weeks after his surgery, we go in to meet with them.
Yeah, big meeting. It's like a big conference table.
Attorneys.
All
because that's a huge group. It was owned by Equus Partners, which is a massive, real estate group. And so the attorneys are there, the design guild guy is there, blah, blah, blah. And he and I are there. And they're like, oh, they hadn't gotten anything done.
Over little
bullshit.
Minutia. And I finally was like, you know what? I stopped everybody and I said, here's the deal, guys. I had a triple bypass and recovered, and you still don't have a deal. This isn't the best place in the world. It's not the only spot for a salon. I'm ready to walk out today without a deal. And I said, so we need, no. Well, we'll get it done today. I said, we need to have some sort of formal agreement.
It was
today.
amazing. It was amazing.
And they did?
Yeah.
It was
pretty
amazing.
badass. Yeah. And that was how far after your surgery?
4 weeks.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't even allowed to drive myself yet because I wasn't healed all the way.
Right. So we still had the school. We're negotiating this thing. He has a triple bypass.
How are you handling all this?
Just
like a champ.
You
just keep going, right?
Like a champ.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the really cool thing about our relationship over the years is that when one of us is kind of feeling a little overwhelmed or down, I'm a little overwhelmed, triple bypass.
Slightly.
Just a little.
The other one always picks up.
Yeah.
And we try to keep things as normal as possible.
While the other one
not pretending that these things aren't happening.
Right.
But, letting the other person know it's okay to be a little weak right now.
Yeah.
And, it's been a kind of like a really cool godsend for me as a guy, because
Yeah.
you're always expected, I gotta take care of business. And
Yeah.
I've never really operated that way, but I've really not felt compelled to feel that way in this relationship,
Aw.
which has been really cool.
It is.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. You
Even
guys are
having to heal from all that stuff, there was no rush. You're like, you need to get back out there. No.
You guys have a lot of like very conscious behaviors, which I think you know that, but I think do you ever purposely manifest? Because I do that. I'm thinking, are you like a secret? Like you don't realize you have the power? Because
Probably.
everything you're saying, like I have been working on the law of attraction for years, but you are like, you say that you have the key to the law of attraction is you have to believe it.
Yeah.
And you believe it
I
no
do.
matter what. It's just when you said how you opened up Gloss.
Yeah. She was like,
That's
you're
her.
not, I had a
You were
good
a master
I
manifester.
told
Yes.
that same story to a buddy of mine about having no clients. I hadn't seen him since I opened Gloss. Hadn't seen him for like 7 years. He came back to me over COVID for a haircut, and he asked me some questions about it. And I told him how I opened. He goes, dude, you're nuts. He goes, who does that?
He goes, who the fuck does that?
Who opens a freaking 3,000 square foot business with no fucking clients or anybody to work for you? I go, I do.
A master manifester. You
I said,
believe,
because I
you
felt-
know.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
knew it was the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I put together this great team, and they all, the interesting thing is it broke up. The band broke up
Yeah.
at certain points, but they all moved on to better things.
Yeah. Aw.
Do you know what I'm
Like-
saying?
like,
So I
yeah.
never like had any, I always enjoy that
Like-
about it. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
not that typical hairstylist guy. Like I love that they move on to something better,
Yeah.
because who am I to keep you from your destiny?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
You're
Yes.
not holding, no one's holding me back from fulfilling my dreams.
Yeah.
So why would I keep you? I had 3 people leave just to do, those new salon suites,
Oh, yeah.
which everyone's like, they're the devil. You know what? It is what it is.
It is what it's going to happen.
It is what it is. And you know what? I had these ladies that worked for me. I love them to this day, but I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
They're getting to put the owner's shoes on.
Yeah.
They get to feel what I feel and how I operate from the point of, lifting up instead of tearing down. And they get to experience it now themselves 100%.
And they'll.
And they're like, it's not that easy. And I'm like, I told you, but you know what? I'm always here for you.
That's
Aw,
right.
Yeah.
And
So many people, it's beautiful to hear that. I've worked with 2 other bosses like that, both these Italian men, old men, and I love them to death. But a lot of people don't believe that. But something you said earlier, like when you had moved the salon, what people don't understand is, especially the way the universe works, like you will always be provided with abundance. You can open up 10 salons in this block. There's 10 million people. There's so many people out there. Like it doesn't have to be competition.
Yes.
Just, it's a beautiful thing. When they leave, guess what? Other new energy will form and come in the salon, and then they will. It's just like this beautiful cycle.
That's
And it's
right.
cool to see you not practice non-attachment in this world where it's always like my people, my
Oh, yeah,
clients.
no.
Oh, there's just so much bullshit.
yeah, I always
in
try
this
to,
industry.
I always try to remind stylists when they're developing their book. I'm like, guess what? Those people are coming to you because they like you.
Yeah.
They like something about you. The
Yeah.
hair is the extra icing on the top and the cherry. But it's if you can provide them with what they're looking for, that's the extra part. That's the part that they keep coming back for but it's really your relationship they're coming in for.
Yeah.
I don't own, I haven't owned a person my whole life.
No.
So just because it's my business doesn't mean they're my clients.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I've always looked at it that way, nor do they. You have a relationship to maintain.
Yeah.
So if that relationship goes bad, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. What did I do or didn't do for that client to want to leave? It's that simple. It's not.
It's not. You know what I'm thinking as you're talking? You guys set up a YouTube channel for you, like an education?
We've talked about it
at nauseum. We've talked about it.
so much. It's not
Because
even funny.
you have the wisdom, B, you have a way to break it down. Like I have ADHD, and I'm like, oh wow, and I could just see, and you like to be an educator.
Yeah.
It's
You can just do it
amazing.
right in get a camera, and should do it. I mean, if this is your sign.
No, he literally, I'm not kidding when I say I'm dying over here because just 2 weeks ago, he was like, when are you going to start recording me?
Yes.
When are you going to start filming me? And I was like, okay.
Well, it's not like random. She's actually encouraged that.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, about me.
Oh, absolutely. No, not at all.
No,
like
but
we've
she-
literally
yeah.
sat
Back
down
and-
even, and because I've said to him
She's like, what do you want to talk about? Or like, and I go, well, we need a format. We need to, how do we want to grow it as we talk? Like it should be a
because he
series of
does have
things
so
that grow.
much wisdom.
So much wisdom.
And the way that he breaks things down.
Like a mini Buddha.
He does with no hair.
Well, Buddha doesn't have hair.
Oh, that's right.
Buddha, see?
That's right. True, you are. He really
Tattooed
is, though.
mini
And
Buddha.
everybody says that about him, though. They're like, he's so calm, but he has such this incredible presence about him. And like,
Maybe
this
you're
energy.
a Taurus rising. Do you know what your rising sign is?
I have no
Especially
idea.
because they say
I'd like
that
to know.
Buddha was a Taurus, also was born in Taurus season.
Really?
Yeah. But also Tauruses have this very like the bull, right? So very you like to,
Yes,
you
I'm a
already have
Taurus.
Oh.
I know.
But I feel like your rising sign is like a Leo. It has to be a fire sign.
Really?
It has to.
How do you find out about that?
You have to know what time you're born at.
I
And it's
know.
like a computer. Let me know and put in a computer system.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then find out. But those are my guesses. That's what I'm putting on there, betting
Okay.
my whole career on that. But with the Taurus too, they bring wisdom, they bring comfort, they bring just like a solitude, which you both definitely have. And even seeing in your relationship, I can't imagine owning a beauty school though. I kept thinking earlier, I was like, the craziest people, were in the hair world or in the salons. And then I go back to beauty school.
Oh.
We saw it all.
Do you have any the craziest funny story that you can say?
Oh gosh,
Is there anything that comes off?
so many. The SWAT team coming.
Wait,
in,
okay,
like,
yeah, let's start there.
Or the old
there that
perverts that were sitting in the parking
God.
lot.
There was a
because-
couple. So we were on the second story and you could see out over the whole parking lot. And there was a couple, I'm not kidding. They had a pickup truck and the bed had a mattress in it. They were going at it
Wait.
in the parking lot.
In the parking
And
lot.
all
In the
this-
parking lot
Yeah.
during the day?
Yes. And so all these students are lined up around the windows, looking at the windows. And we're like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you got to see this. Oh, yeah. The cop showed up, interrupted them. But I was like, why would you interrupt them? Let them finish.
I know that wasn't cool.
Yeah, they interrupt. Yeah. How long did it go
That's some
though?
voyeur shit. They were way into it.
And then we literally
That was some fantasy shit
That
right
was
there that
big
they were
time.
reliving
Yeah, oh, yeah.
or fulfilling, I guess would be the word.
fulfilling. Yes, with a whole audience of like. Literally,
Yeah.
10,000 square feet. So you can just imagine the length
Yeah.
of windows that went all the way down.
Everybody's
And
standing there
everybody
looking.
is standing there watching. And we did, of course, have the SWAT
should have
team.
made
Wait, what happened
signs.
with the SWAT team?
I wasn't there.
Because someone
I
you
couldn't.
were, it was we had a girl who was doing drugs, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It happened.
she would go out to her car, and of course, because everybody could look out the window, they could see her doing drugs in her car, and she would come back in and go into the ladies' room, and apparently she was hiding her drugs in the drop ceiling of the bathroom. So
Selfish.
yeah, I know.
Selfish, yeah, right? Didn't share.
So the police came, the Downingtown SWAT team, which of course they were so excited.
Yeah, they had something to do.
It was they loved coming to Pulse. And they came in and they went into the bathroom, and they were the ones that actually started lifting the tiles, and they found
I
it.
definitely was not
and-
Did you have any idea? Did you have any idea
Diane.
what was going on? Did they even tell you at first? Did they were just like,
Well, no, we knew that because they had been coming, because apparently she had been using, and there had been students that were reporting her. And Diane, who was in our financial aid office, she was the one who actually facilitated them coming. But it was great because she ended up going to rehab. I mean, she got in trouble, obviously. She went to jail, but she went to rehab, and now
Okay,
she's
good.
clean and
Oh,
has a
good,
great
amazing.
career. So,
beautiful.
there's,
Yeah, we have several stories like that about, young kids coming into the school. And again, it's not because they chose to be addicts or whatever. It's where their life led them, right?
yeah,
And we never discounted that. Like we've had many of them go through recovery, come back and finish, because who am I? Like I've had journeys, I've partied, I've done my things. And you know what? I just didn't get hooked.
that would
You know what I'm saying?
Heroin addiction
So-
was actually the beginning of my story.
Yes.
The first 6 years I was between heroin and lots of other drugs for the first 6 years of my career in the hair
kidding.
world. Yeah. In fact,
You're kidding.
the one bonus episode I did with Jimmy was very similar. He just taught me kind of seems like you the street of the hair industry and how to understand and love people. And he, no matter what, did not give up on me. I'd come in,
Yes.
put me in rehab, the same
Yeah.
thing. And here I am. Yeah. I was just thinking, reflecting this morning, it has been 9 years ago was the last ram of getting high, right? That
Yeah.
last stretch of
Kidding.
nursing,
Awesome.
getting
That is
high.
so
And
awesome.
it's cool to hear that and hear that you guys have helped people and you understand that it's much deeper than,
Oh yeah.
right
what?
than just I'm partying, or
No.
that someone is like throwawayable. Do you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Disposable.
Like, shut up.
Throw away.
Throwaway. Well, I was with the
She
throwaway.
knew.
I know.
You knew too, didn't
Yeah.
you? I know.
It's a new Scrabble
Disposable.
word.
Thank you. Listen, words with
Throwawayable.
friends.
I'm going to try it out.
Words with. Oh, I suck at that.
Well, clearly he says that I do too, but he cheats. Words with friends. Yes, he does.
I would cheat.
Okay.
But no, it's so true because, and you know what too? He and I have both been in situations where people could have walked away from us and people could have thrown us away or people could have discounted us. And, you know, there's nothing in this world that feels as good as being able to see somebody come from a shitty space into an incredible space.
A butterfly. Like, just watch that.
Yes. What is it? Chrysalis? Is that how they pronounce that? Chrysalis?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good at pronouncing things.
It's when the caterpillar goes into
The cocoon.
and in that space, the caterpillar essentially dissolves
Oh.
and regrows as this completely new thing, like an entirely new creation, which is so powerful.
That's
if you
powerful.
think about it, like
That's powerful.
it goes in there, this ugly worm, basically with a million legs.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really see its eyes or whatever. And then while it's in there in this like just
Turns into a
shitty-
gelatinous liquid.
Yes. And then it completely reforms into this beautiful, breathtaking, colorful new being that can now fly.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here. Like it's
Wow.
amazing.
That's beautiful.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, to watch that
think
transformation.
about that as human beings. We have that same capability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's internal more
Yes.
and emotional, but we have that ability. It's just really you need the right support group around you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what it takes.
That cocoon.
It takes people, and I don't have to. I tell people all the time to feel, to be able to feel what other people feel, and to be able to put yourself in that situation. You don't have to have the experience
No.
necessarily. You can just be not a shitty person.
right.
Yeah.
and
giving them
not
space.
and not judge people because you haven't had to deal with that. You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're blessed. Whatever
right.
you want to call it. But I feel happy for you.
Yeah.
But these people, they don't choose to live an existence where people are ignoring them and thinking they're going to get better tomorrow and this. You know what? They want that help. You can't give up.
You
Love
can't.
them where they are.
Love them where they are
Yeah.
and be encouraging.
Yeah.
It's always go in asking, how can I help you today?
Yeah.
What can I do for you today?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be tomorrow and the next day. It's just right now. How can I help you right now?
That's right.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, how was it with COVID? Was it scary? How'd you guys make it through that?
gosh.
None of the stuff, politics, just like how did you make it there on an emotional level through that?
I think at first it was really like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
yeah, of course.
But then, legitimate.
Did you feel sad? Like, did you
I-
get all those emotions of like,
Oh, I was.
are we going to lose it all again?
She was
Yeah.
Are
freaking
we-
out, yeah.
I was fucked up for a little
Were
while.
ya?
Like there were 2 occasions specifically where like I thought I was gonna like lose my shit. Like,
Wow.
I
How do you keep it
literally-
together? How'd
Well,
you
I drove
stop?
to my mom's and asked her for Xanax.
Scotch on the
Not gonna lie.
rocks.
And scotch.
It's scotch.
I mean,
Scotch.
yes, scotch. Here it
Sometimes you
goes
need
down
something
my
to
belly.
calm it down when you're in that state. And
Yes.
then you can clear the mind. And
Yeah.
then you can bring the awareness, clarity, and truth.
Yes, yeah.
I just actually,
Decompress.
I decompressed, but I actually just threw myself into preparing this new space.
Yeah, you seem like you're
Like I don't. Stay,
you're calm, assertive. You
He is.
I just
Mhm.
I wasn't going to sit there and be like, okay, everything's coming to an end. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? If I can't do
Same.
anything, I'll do it on my own. So I just came here by myself.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I
Yep.
started renovations and I started getting it ready because, why not utilize the time? I'm not going to just sit here and do nothing.
Yeah.
I realize that there's a virus,
Yeah.
and there are people that are very susceptible, and I honored that. I closed, my businesses
Yeah.
for those 4 months to honor that.
Yeah.
Will I ever do that again? Fuck no, I won't. I'll never ever do that again. I'll
Yeah.
never have a government person tell
Yeah.
me that I can't run my business again. I just won't.
Yeah.
I know how to be safe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I never stopped doing hair during it. I just didn't do it in the salon.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Same.
safe. I got a bunch of heat for it. People were mouthy with me on Facebook. But you know what? I didn't get COVID.
But let's be honest. Would you say 70% of hairstylists did hair properly
Absolutely.
during?
There's no doubt in my mind.
I'm thinking to myself, hairstylists are the number one non-rule followers of the
Exactly.
of all the workforce.
Right. And
Yes.
the ones that were
And
like,
they were-
oh, I'm not doing
they're
it. I
full.
care
They were-
about
I swear
everybody.
they were
I'm like, stop
lying.
lying through your teeth.
Stop lying.
Stop it.
I probably did a good maybe 3 weeks. I did, and I really put into the podcast the second half of that. I was like,
But
yeah,
you were still working and
working
productive.
and productive, and then even doing hair was all safe. It was done
Yeah.
one-on-one. You know,
Listen,
Right.
I never had so many police officers reach out to me.
Right.
wait, police officers.
And I said, shit, I'm never
Wait, for
gonna get in
haircuts?
trouble.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Come to
Unbelievable.
their houses and do their hair.
They
I'm like,
were contacting him and being like, hey, could you come to
I
my
heard
house
you
and
were
do
the
my
guy.
hair?
yeah, I heard you were the guy.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, I'll come out and see you because they get tested every week.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, I'll come out. I don't mind.
yeah.
I met a whole bunch of new people. And then I came here and I just got everything ready. And, you know, our philosophy is this: we'll make sure that it's safe for
Yeah.
you in whatever condition you feel is. It's a personal contract between you
It is.
and your stylist.
Mhm.
All of our stations are 7 feet apart. If you and your stylist, you want to wear a mask, you can.
Yeah,
If my client comes in and says, hey, do you mind? Or I'll even ask them if they come in with a mask on and don't take it off. Would you like me to put one
Yeah.
on? And I put it on.
yeah,
It's not a big deal.
yeah.
I'm not buck the system. I don't care. Whatever is safe for you, you're my
Yes.
customer.
That's how I feel.
I've had elderly women come in masked, and I go out of my way to come up and say, hey, do you have a prior condition that we need to be aware of?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I am compromised. I said, would you like everybody in the salon to put their masks on? Because they will. And she goes, that would be lovely. And I'm like,
See,
not a
that's-
problem.
Yeah,
And everybody does it. It's just communication.
It's communication.
Don't tell me what to do. Communicate with me. Let's talk.
And people don't even, I can even tell, don't even like that sort of just acknowledging what boundaries you're at right now. Like that freaks people out to be like, are you comfortable?
Yeah.
So, you know, people don't even
Right.
want to like, it's funny when it goes to boundaries, how people are like,
Yeah.
just ask and it
And
can save the whole world.
I'm not going to judge you for wearing it.
Yeah.
It's not my place.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve you.
Yeah.
This is a service business.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't care. Whatever it is that it makes you feel relaxed. You're supposed to relax in the salon.
Yeah.
I don't want you bugging out the whole time. You're here
No.
like, oh my God, I'm going to leave sick.
Yeah.
That's craziness. But I never thought in a million years that we would be wearing masks into the bank.
I know. I know.
Into the bank.
I was
I'm like,
thinking,
can I have all the cash in my tail?
can I,
This is a deposit slip. It says, please give me all the 50 cents.
I have a bomb.
I have,
Can't say a bomb in an airport.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't think I've ever worn a mask before this all happened.
Me either.
I was like, I was trying
what?
to think, I don't think I've ever worn one.
Ever, except
I mean, that one
maybe,
time,
like,
it was that night, you know.
Oh, that night.
you know what I
Remember
hate
that
you.
night?
Oh, we were playing cops and
You don't
robbers.
remember.
Home invasion.
Yeah, it was home
That's
invasion.
right. That's right.
Now,
I probably had too many scotches.
You were the robber.
She's the robber. Oh,
She's
yeah.
the
She's a
robber.
bad bitch. She's the robber. He's the Libra. He's going to have to somehow save. I'll be a robber with you. Now, would you say that COVID, like, it was really a blessing, right? Because you don't even know what's beautiful is going to come out of just
Yeah.
putting your focus here.
No,
Yes,
you know,
it
it's
was a blessing.
And the newbie-
100% was because Gloss,
Same.
something I realized, and this was an ego-driven thing. I felt like when I had that open heart surgery, I felt like I had to go super big and super
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
And over the 4 years that I had it open, it never vibed with me quite right.
Wow.
Well,
Inside
plus
you know.
there was a presence there.
Yeah,
too.
there were. Yeah, we had a Downingtown's Paranormal Society came.
Oh,
Yes.
a real?
Like a
wait,
real
well,
presence.
okay,
Yeah,
tell
for
me.
real.
Wait,
For
hold
real.
on. Wait,
Yeah,
stop.
He literally
going.
had Downingtown Paranormal Society come out and set up all this stuff
Yeah.
for overnight
Yeah, we did it.
sleeping, like recording, and they recorded 3 different energy
Entities, yeah.
beings. I'm getting like, ooh,
Because that was an older house.
Yeah,
that,
oh yeah.
that you
About
guys.
1700s.
1790.
I didn't know it was that old.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
It was
shit.
built in
And
the
then it was a bank or
1700s.
something. And
Before
then,
us, it
For
was.
you guys.
And a
Yeah.
friend of ours who actually, she worked for us at one point. She was a teller when it was the TD Bank North and was robbed at gunpoint at that TD
Yeah,
Bank.
she would never come to the salon when we
And
opened it.
She would.
They
No, she was
locked her
traumatized.
in
Oh, yeah, that
the,
would
they
be.
locked her
Duh.
in the
Oh, holy
vault.
shit.
Her and her employee.
When was this?
God, it had to have been 10 years ago at
Holy
least.
shit.
At least.
That's
Yes.
scary.
Yeah.
Yep. And the guy took like her driver's license and stuff. So she was like terrified for
Jesus
years
Christ.
and years. Yeah. But so long story
Oh
short,
my God.
a lot of negative energy.
Oh yeah.
We had
So-
two deaths.
Yes.
Two young stylists.
Yes.
Both OD'd.
I was
Both
gonna say drug overdoses.
both tainted drugs.
Mhm.
Both coming
Graduates from our school,
Yeah.
like
God, that
people
breaks my
who we
heart.
loved, and like,
Yeah.
That is definitely, there's some dark. So what did they
Yeah.
record from the entities in there?
So
what did they think? It was a man?
So they thought that upstairs there was a very, like a man. And then downstairs it was definitely a woman and a child.
Right. Yeah.
And they never did anything to us. The man was kind of creepy. He would walk around
Could hear them.
the platform that night. I mean, there was a lot of
Lights going on and off and
things.
stuff.
Things would fall off the wall that shouldn't, because we didn't have any breezes
Yeah.
in there. Or
No,
anything.
no.
So things would come off the wall. Stylists would tell me about. Things would not be in the same place. So nothing too terrible, but I just never got the same feeling I do when I'm in here.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
Chill, calm. I just always felt everybody at a certain point would get kind of super edgy.
You found there was a dark energy in there.
Yes.
Just would just,
All the time there.
and entities can get onto something and just fucking stick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I swear.
And then like
Mhm.
people, it would even change like behaviors of people.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
worked for us. I would see like these
They
weird
start there.
behavioral changes. And I'm like, that just
like
doesn't
toxic, dark.
Yeah.
Like when we found out that there were actual like entities, energies there, we were like, holy shit. Like it explained so much
Mhm.
because like I'm getting chills.
I'm
because
getting chills.
it
Look
would,
at me.
I'm telling you, like, no matter how much we would try to like infuse this positive energy and these great vibes, because we're like, we have good vibes.
Yeah, amazing
And
vibes.
We, no matter what, like, I have chills so bad right now. It would, like, weird shit would always happen with people that you would least expect it. Like,
And it
all
would
of a
undermine
sudden,
whatever our message was or
Yes.
our new focus. There's always some kind of undermining element. So really the blessing of it was, unfortunately, when I, as time went by with the 4-month close down and I was running numbers, I'm like, it's just not there to reopen there.
That was a blessing.
So exactly. I said,
was.
so let's just contact the powers that be, the landlords, and let them know. And we're going to just focus everything on revolution.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been night and day.
night and
Night
day.
and day. Look at that money tree behind me.
Yes,
I
that
know.
money tree
It was
is
in- it
growing
was in-
big.
Yo,
It
for
was
real.
in that space.
That was at Gloss, and I swear
It
on
never changed.
my life, it was the size of that bush
Little.
that's like right there up on that desk.
Are you serious?
It was literally that big.
I still have such chills. And when you were just talking about how behaviors would change, and if you, not that I'm like this
yeah.
this entity expert, but like you watch it like that, you see someone normal, and then you just see these weird out of character, and it's almost like, not to say again that was the devil, whatever, but dark
like a
energy is like,
possession.
well, you guys have a lot of light energy. I do too. So that is like a dark energy loves to
Oh,
just,
yeah.
so it would sneak in
Yes.
these
Oh,
people
yeah.
to try to take you guys out of there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I would
Get you
be,
guys the fuck
when
out.
I would be on, it's so funny because the stylists would say when I was on site, none of that
Yes.
shit was going on.
That's exactly.
Wow.
And
When I wasn't there, if I would take some downtime and want to spend time with the family or do a project, they'd be like, when are you coming back? Because it's just
Yes.
shitty.
yes.
So I would come
Wow.
back and it would clean up again. Anytime I wasn't or she wasn't or we weren't involved and on site,
It was
something creepy or
dirty.
just there was always something like behaviors would be out
Like
of
they would
alignment.
just take over all of the,
yes.
And when they would
Yes.
tell me these different stylists, like this happened the other day, so and so said this to me, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that is really out of character.
Right. And I'd be like, nah. I'm like, there's no way that she would do something like that or he would do something like that. And he's like, hon, I swear to God, like, this is what they're telling
And I
me.
never got like I'm not the kind of person. I'm not. Again, I don't go in like, why would you be like? It was just like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
How you
Yep.
doing? Let me talk to you about
Yeah.
this. This
Yeah.
happened
Everything
the other day.
okay?
What could be the process? And they really didn't have a legitimate explanation normally.
Ever. And
wow.
that's like,
Just like, sorry, I don't know where it came from, kind of.
right. Because we would sit and we'd be like, why would this be going on with so and so? Like, why are they doing this? Or why would they be behaving like that? And we would have meetings and there was never anything concrete that someone could say, oh, well, it was this, or this. Like, I don't know. It was just
No, it was.
really.
Yeah, it was never 1, 2, or 3. It was always like, we just need you to be here more. And that was over and over again. We need
All the
you to
time.
be here more. And I'm like, can't be here any more than
Well,
I
the
am, and
entities
they
knew
should.
you guys are pretty solid, so the entities knew they couldn't fuck with you.
Yeah, prey
Yes.
on-
Just fuck with
prey on
those.
the people that weren't aware.
And especially
That's
young
right.
hairstylists, their hairstylists are empaths. They're open to energy. They're creative. So if you get the young and then they just like, oh, free flowing, I'm going to go right into their energy and fuck
Yes.
them up.
Absolutely.
So that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I can already
Oh,
tell
yeah.
as you're talking what like. Thank God you're gone out of there because
Oh.
those
Yes.
entities are just going to keep fucking up whatever
I
keeps going in
literally
there.
don't miss it.
They got to
at
tear
all.
down that
At
house.
all.
I don't miss it
No.
at all.
Then you know that's your spirit.
I can drive by it and I just am like, thank God. I just did not like going in there after a while. And it wasn't people. I just didn't like being there.
You just didn't like.
You know, when I'm doing hair and I'm interacting with my staff, I love it. I relish it. I
Wow.
look forward to it. It's not work for me.
I know, it's
So-
so funny because he'll say, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like he's leaving for work or whatever. And I'm like, well, hon, what's your day look like? And he's like, jam-packed, girl. What do you think? He's like, when I'm behind the chair. And then the one, just like 2 days ago, and I said, oh, are you going to be tired? And he was like, no. And I said, I didn't think so. I said, whether you're tired or not, you make it look effortless when you're behind the chair because his energy is just so positive and like
Yes.
effervescent,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And you have to be. I remember the hairstylist, not the one or my last salon, the one receptionist always loved just working with me because it'd be like Saturday, jam packed, 5 mistakes already. And she's like, do you want me to call? I'm like, we'll figure it out. They're going to
That's
walk in the
right.
door and I can't change it now and I'm not going to stress over it. So we're going to figure out how. And it always did.
Yep.
That's right.
You know, meanwhile, some hair, and you have that same, and that's the key. You can't be like, oh my God, call this, call that
No.
person. I'm going to do this. Fuck it.
Right.
They're going to wait or not going to wait.
Exactly.
We're going to figure it out.
Right.
Now, we're getting to the end of our episode.
Yes.
This was
Oh, God.
amazing. I feel like I'm ready for part 2, part 3.
Sure.
But I ask kind of a final question. I'm just, what advice do you have for couples, not even in this industry, in together, in building businesses together? How do you do it? And how do you do it successfully? What's the advice?
I think knowing your own strength, what's your strength, and not trying to do everything on your own. Like I know what I'm good at,
Mhm.
and there's things that I think I am. And I have a partner that will remind me that no, the hell you're not. And I go, fuck you. But I'm like, you know what? You're right. And then we laugh about it. I'm like, all right. Yeah, you're right. I suck at that. I didn't proofread that. You know what? You need to look at everything first.
I didn't proofread that.
That's classic, right? Me.
What is that usually what you did?
Oh, God.
He'll
I'm
decide
like, hey, I
to.
went on the website and I updated a bunch of stuff. She's like, did you proofread it?
I don't proofread anything. It's hard.
And I go on and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going through. And I'm like, babe, I feel you, but please don't. And he's like, all right. So, and I think just communicating, I think that has been the thing that has just carried us through our entire relationship, our entire marriage is really just communicating with one another. And it's not just, you know, you said something earlier about boundaries and how sensitive people are to boundaries and how difficult it is for people to actually, you know, approach boundaries. One of the things that I feel like has been so powerful in our marriage, whether it's in the business side of it, in parenting, in just, you know, being together, is
The hot sex.
well, that, of course. I mean, goddamn. But
Welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
But no, like if I'm off my game, he'll say something, and
Not in a shitty way.
not in a
like, you
shitty
know,
way.
Yeah.
Like, and I used to get butthurt, and I'd be like, you know, I don't want to talk right now. And he, before, like in the beginning, when I'd be like, don't fucking talk to me right now, he would back off. And then that would allow me to just sit and stew and like think of more things that I get pissed off about. And then, you know, after counseling and all that stuff and learning these different communication skills, if I say, you know what, don't even fucking talk to me right now, he'll say, do we have room in our marriage for that? You know,
I love that.
is there space? Like, you know what? No, let's talk about it right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it just will just keep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not always, you know, sunshines and rainbows. Like when
No.
we
Right.
communicate, it's honesty.
You have to
don't
be able-
always, You don't always want to hear it,
No.
but it's
Don't.
okay. Like you have to understand that person, and when you're in a relationship with them, they're they're coming from a space of love. And there was, you've got to address your baggage from the past to understand that they're not shooting arrows into wounds from your past.
Yeah.
That is where it really starts. It's like you have to get to that point individually. You have to be self-aware enough to know, like, she's not trying to hurt me. She's trying to point out that I
Can't spell.
and I and I should always have her look at everything before I publish it. It's totally fine. And I'm okay with it. You know what I can't spell?
And humor.
Success.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm going to steal that because I am the worst speller ever. Like, hands down.
I mean, that's it.
And we do laugh our asses off
yeah,
You have to.
all the time. Literally all the time.
I can tell. I'm ready to go out with you guys later. Like, I hang out next week. I'm like, so fun.
Yeah.
I even said to her, again, I never met you two in person, but I said to her when she got in the car, I was like, they're going to bring the vibe. Like, I knew you guys were going to have the vibe. And I was like, because I was tired this morning. I've been, Mars is in retrograde. It makes me mopey. And I was like, they're going to bring the fucking vibe. And you guys brought the vibe.
That's
awesome.
This was amazing.
Thank you.
Now,
for doing
tell everyone, our listeners, where they can find you at, here, the salon, social media, all of it. Hit us with it,
so
Heather.
We are revolutionthesalon.com. We are located at 3920 Lincoln Highway in Downingtown. Social media is the Glossy Revolution.
The Glossy Revolution. So you're switching like the emerge from that into the...
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Love
We said
it.
Gloss joined the revolution. So it's Glossy Revolution. And I'm sorry, it's not the Glossy Revolution. It's actually Glossy Revolution. And
That's Instagram, right?
yeah, that's
All
Instagram.
right, I have to look it up. Hell yeah.
Yep. And so, come follow us, come see us, check us out.
It's a beautiful salon. And I'm telling you, they got the vibe.
One last thing.
Yeah.
First responders, doctors, nurses, anyone that works in a doctor's office, we give a 20% off for life
Yeah.
Wow.
as a thank you for working through all of this bullshit and to show our appreciation.
Wow.
So that's
amazing.
a permanent thing that we do.
Yeah. So that's like police officers, like EMTs, like firefighters,
Yeah.
like anybody who like serves, and
Serves
has
every day.
served through this entire wreck of,
And we're halfway there.
Except for you, Governor Wolf.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're
Except,
not welcome, bro.
except for Governor Wolf.
Except for what?
He's a last responder.
And Rachel, I'll do your hair for free.
Yes.
It's trifling.
Yes.
I can help you, girl.
It's trifling.
I
Well,
can
now
help
you know. We're going to plug it in. They're going to be listening to it. This has been amazing. You guys
Thank
have the
you.
vibe. Please, come follow them. Come
you.
see them. If you already, this was, and I've talked to a lot of hairstylists, some serious wisdom. You have a gift to bring the fucking wisdom to the hair world to listen. And you got the gift. You're a bad bitch just helping him rise. And I thought you were a hairstylist this whole time. No.
Thank you. Everybody does.
Everyone does. Well, thank you.
It keeps me fresh.
Oh, so fresh. Looking good. Well, thank you both for well, thank you for allowing me to come into your space because we're doing this at the salon, setting up. I, of course, was 15 minutes late and then another 40 minutes to set up. And you guys were so patient. You brought the vibe. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you have a story, comment, you want to reach out, please email me at thehairhealerpodcast@yahoo.com. Follow our Facebook page, The Hair Healer Facebook page, and find me on Instagram at thehairhealer1111. Thank you, everyone. Love you guys and have a good week.